Welcome, I'm Tina Bridgettini. Welcome to my channel. Hey, one afternoon after a full day of seeing clients, one of my students asked me a question that I'll never forget. She looked exhausted, not physically, emotionally. She said, Tina, how do you do this for so many years without carrying everyone home with you? And I didn't answer immediately because I realized almost every practitioner has that question eventually. Maybe not out loud, but quietly inside themselves. If you've ever driven home replaying a client's story, if you've found yourself lying awake wondering how they're doing, if you've ever felt responsible for someone else's healing, then today's conversation is for you because I don't think the answer is becoming less compassionate. I think the answer is understanding the difference between holding space and carrying another human being. See, one of the most beautiful qualities that draws people into healing professions is compassion. We care deeply. We want people to suffer less. We celebrate their victories. We feel sadness when life has been unfair. I never want practitioners to lose that. But compassion and responsibility are not the same thing. Somewhere along the way, many practitioners begin believing, if I care enough, I should be able to carry this for them. And that's where exhaustion begins. So imagine someone arrives carrying a very heavy backpack. Inside it are years of grief, loss, fear, trauma, disappointment. And as practitioners, our role is to walk beside them while they learn how to unpack it safely, not to put the backpack on our own shoulders. If we carry it, they don't learn to carry it differently. And eventually we become too exhausted to keep walking with anyone. That isn't compassion. It's unsustainable. Now, I think this is one of the quiet reasons practitioners burn out. It's not because they don't love the work, because they slowly begin confusing empathy with responsibility. The sessions don't end when the clients leave. They continue in the practitioner's mind, replaying conversations, wondering if they said enough, questioning every decision, carrying worries that don't belong to them. I've been there. And over the years, I've learned something. The more I carried, the less present I actually became. See, one of the greatest shifts in my own practice happened when I realized something. Clients don't need me to absorb their pain. They need me to remain steady while they experience it. And that's very different. If I become overwhelmed, I've unintentionally asked the client to care for me. But if I remain grounded, I become part of the safe environment they're learning to experience. That doesn't make me distant. It makes me available. Now, many healing traditions emphasize that the practitioner should cultivate steadiness, compassion, and inner balance rather than becoming overwhelmed by another person's suffering. Modern psychotherapy recognizes the importance of professional boundaries, self-awareness, and the therapeutic relationship. Research on burnout and compassion fatigue also highlights the need for practitioners to care for themselves. Of course, if they hope to sustain their work over time, different traditions describe these ideas in different ways, but they point to a common principle. We serve others best when we remain grounded enough to stay present. So, what is our responsibility? It's not to heal someone, it's not to rescue someone, it's not to remove every difficult feeling. Our responsibility is to create a relationship where healing becomes more possible, to observe carefully, to respond thoughtfully, to remain present, to continue learning, and then to trust the client's own capacity to grow. And I think that's one of the greatest acts of respect that we can offer another human being. So this week inside of our energy therapy practitioner certification, we had one of those conversations that remind me why I love teaching. A practitioner said, I finally realized that carrying my client wasn't helping them. It was keeping me exhausted. Another practitioner quietly replied, I thought that exhaustion meant I cared. And of course, the room became quiet because so many of us believed that at one time. And inside our live classes, we don't just learn techniques, we learn how to build a sustainable practice, one that allows us to care deeply without losing ourselves in the process. And if that's the kind of practitioner that you want to become, I'd love to welcome you into our community. If there's one idea I'd like you to remember today, it's this: compassion doesn't require carrying. The greatest gift that you can offer your client is your grounded presence, not your exhaustion. In our next chapter, we're going to explore something that quietly transforms every practitioner. And that is why confidence isn't something that you find, it's something that you build. Because the practitioners people trust most aren't the ones who know everything. They're the ones who have learned to trust themselves. I want to thank you again for joining another chapter of the Architecture of Healing. And I want to thank every practitioner who continues to make this community such a thoughtful place to learn. To those joining us from the United States, India, Europe, Australia, South America, and beyond, one of the greatest joys of this series has been discovering that practitioners from different cultures and healing traditions share many of the same questions. I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever struggled with carrying your client's emotions? What helped you to discover the difference between caring deeply and carrying too much? Share your thoughts down below. Your experiences often help someone else feel less alone. Till next time, take good care of yourself. Healing isn't about becoming someone else. It's about understanding how we became who we are and creating the conditions for something new to emerge. Many blessings, Tina Brigitini.